Hello everybody. Today's topic of discussion is catabolism of fatty acid in adipose tissue skeletal muscles. So what is the source of fatty acid of adipose tissue and skeletal muscles? These fatty acids come from TG by the hydrolysis of lipoprotein lipase present in the endothelial lining of skeletal muscle and adipose tissue, and this TG is carried by the chylomicron and VLDL. Chylomicron carries the TG from the intestine and VLDL carries the TG from liver. So when the fatty acids enters into the adipose tissue and skeletal muscle, it is catabolized to give the energy in case of muscle and in adipose tissue. So how it gets catabolized? It is catabolized by the process of oxidation. So oxidation, if the oxidation takes place in the alpha carbon, it is called alpha oxidation. If it is oxidized in the beta carbon, it is called beta oxidation. If this oxidation takes place in the omega carbon, it is called omega oxidation. To measure maximum fatty acid are oxidized by the process of beta oxidation. The process of beta oxidation. So it is the major catabolic pathway, and some fatty acid is oxidized at the alpha carbon, that is the alpha oxidation, and the omega carbon is the omega oxidation. This is the minor catabolic pathway. So today we will discuss about the beta oxidation of short chain, medium chain and the long chain, even chain saturated fatty acid. What is beta oxidation? Beta oxidation is defined as oxidation of fatty acid on beta carbon results in sequential removal of two carbon fragments, that is the acetyl-CoA, after breakage of chain between the alpha carbon and beta carbon. That means beta oxidation takes place at the beta carbon, and after oxidation there is a cleavage of covalent bond between the alpha carbon and beta carbon. So there is a sequential removal of two carbon fragment, that is acetyl-CoA, and this is called beta oxidation of fatty acid. And this fatty acid was discovered by French-Chenot, a German scientist, in 1904. He fed a dog with saturated even chain fatty acid tagged with phenyl group, and he observed that phenyl acetate dogs excrete phenyl acetate, but when he fed the dog with orchan fatty acid tagged with phenyl group, he observed that the dog excrete the benzoic acid, And from this observation, he was concluded that the maximum fatty acids are oxidized by the beta oxidation. This all over about the history part of the beta oxidation. Next, the beta oxidation, what it is takes place. It is takes place in all the cells in our body, mainly in the muscles, but brain, RBC and adrenal medulla cannot utilize the fatty acid by the beta oxidation for their energy requirement. Then how the beta oxidation takes place. Before actual beta oxidation, first of all, the fatty acid that enters into the cells has to be activated by the enzyme thiokinase into this CoA derivative, that is by the process of in this activation process you get the acyl CoA from fatty acid by the enzyme thiokinase. It utilizes the one molecule of ATP and there is a production of AMP and pyrophosphate, and this pyrophosphate by the enzyme pyrophosphatase hydrolyzed into 2 inorganic phosphate. So ultimately by this process you get the activated form of fatty acid, that is the acyl. Then if the acyl CoA is short chain acyl CoA, it easily passes through the inner mitochondrial membrane and enters into the mitochondrial matrix. But if the acyl CoA is made up of medium chain fatty acid and long chain fatty acid, it cannot pass through the inner mitochondrial membrane. So there is a requirement of one transporter, and this name of the transporter is carnitine transporter. So next, what is carnitine transporter? It is made up of three enzymes. One is carnitine palmitoyl transferase 1. Second is acyl carnitine translocase and carnitine palmitoyl transferase 2. So first of all, carnitine palmitoyl transferase 1 transport the carnitine molecule to the acyl CoA to form acyl carnitine. Then by the enzyme acyl carnitine translocase, acyl carnitine is transferred from cytosol to the mitochondrial matrix, and in the mitochondrial matrix acyl carnitine release the carnitine molecule and forms acyl CoA. The enzyme carnitine palmitoyl transferase 2. So you get the acyl CoA within the mitochondrial matrix. So in this way, medium chain and long chain acyl CoA is transferred from the cytosol to the mitochondrial matrix. Next, the new compound to you, that is the carnitine. What is carnitine? Carnitine is chemically a beta hydroxy gamma trimethyl ammonium butyrate. It is a protein, but peculiarity is that it is not synthesized by the transcription and translation process that occurs in all protein. It is synthesized simply by the two amino acid, that is the lysine and methionine. Next, the carnitine present in the all tissues, mainly in the muscles, and the function is it helps in the entry of medium chain or long chain fatty acid from mitochondria, from the cytosol to the mitochondrial matrix. Next, the beta oxidation proper. You get the acyl-CoA into the mitochondrial matrix, and this acyl-CoA, this activated form of fatty acid, undergo beta oxidation. So, in each cycle of beta oxidation, the first step is oxidation. That is, the acyl-CoA gets oxidized by the removal of two hydrogen atom between the C2 and C3 carbon and forms delta 2 trans NOL CoA. And the acceptor of these two hydrogen is FAD, and to form FADH2, and this FADH2 goes into the electron transport to form 2 molecules of ATP. And the enzyme that is responsible for this oxidation is acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. Next, hydration. One molecule of water is introduced into the double bond, and so there is a formation of one hydroxyl group, and there is production of L-beta hydroxyacyl-CoA. And the enzyme called delta 2 trans NOL CoA hydratase. Next, again oxidation. Oxidation takes place of L-hydroxyacyl CoA, L-beta hydroxyacyl CoA to, that means hydroxyl group gets oxidized to keto group, and so there is a formation of L-beta ketoacyl CoA, beta ketoacyl CoA, not the L, beta ketoacyl CoA. And during this oxidation process, you get the reduction of NAD plus to NADH plus H plus, NADH plus H plus, and this NADH plus H plus goes into the electron transportation to generate the 3 molecule of ATP. And the last step of the beta oxidation cycle is cleavage. In this step, the carbon between a covalent bond between C2 and C3 is broken by the enzyme thiolase, and there is a liberation of 2 carbon fragment, that is the acetyl. So, in short, if this fatty acid is the palmitic acid, that is the 16 carbon fatty acid, first of all, this palmitic acid is undergo activation in the cytosol to form palmitoyl CoA, and with the help of carnitine transporter, it enters in the mitochondrial matrix. And this palmitoyl CoA, by the beta oxidation, it forms acetyl CoA, 8 molecule of acetyl CoA, 7 molecule of FADH2, 7 molecule of NADH plus H plus. By utilizing 7 molecule of CoSH and 7 molecule of FAD and 7 molecule of NAD plus. So next, the ultimate goal is the generation of ATP. So by the process of beta oxidation, so how molecule of ATP is you get? If suppose the number of carbon atom present in the even chain saturated fatty acid is n, So the number of beta oxidation cycle is, that is operated, is half n minus 1, and each cycle you get the 5 molecule of ATP. So by the beta oxidation cycle only you get the 5 into half n minus 1 molecule of ATP. Then you get the how many molecule of acetyl-CoA. You get the half n number of acetyl-CoA that enters into the TCA cycle and generate in each cycle. You know that in each cycle of TCA cycle you get the 12 molecule of ATP. So the how many molecule of ATP you get after oxidation of acetyl-CoA in TCA cycle, that is a 12 into half n. And in first step, during activation step, in the cytosol, you utilize the 2 molecule of high energy phosphate, that is equivalent to 2 molecule of ATP. So the net gain of ATP by the process of beta oxidation of a fatty acid, saturated essential fatty acid, is 5 half n minus 1 plus 12 into half n minus 2. So you get, if the fatty acid is palmitic acid, that is the 16 number carbon atom, that is n is equal to 16. So you get the 129 molecule of ATP. Next, what is the regulation of beta oxidation of fatty acid? Regulation. The only step that can be regulated in beta oxidation of fatty acid is carnitine transporter level, and the enzyme that can be regulated is carnitine palmitate transferase 1 by the manonyl-CoA. Next, inborn error of fatty acid beta oxidation. The most common inborn error of fatty acid beta oxidation is sudden infant death syndrome, that is the SIDS. The baby presented with hypoglycemia. So why the baby is suffering from hypoglycemia? Baby after feeding he or she utilizes the glucose, and after few hours the glucose level and it is utilized and decreases, and the rate of fatty acid oxidation must be simultaneously increased to meet the energy need. But as here in SIDS there is a defect in the medium chain acyl-CoA dehydrogenase enzyme, the beta oxidation, there is a blockage in beta oxidation. So beta oxidation cannot be takes place. So the baby, there is a decreased production of acetyl-CoA. You all know that the acetyl-CoA is reciprocally regulate the pyruvate dehydrogenase and the pyruvate carboxylase, that is acetyl-CoA inhibit the pyruvate dehydrogenase and stimulate the pyruvate carboxylase. As there is a deficiency of acetyl-CoA production, so there is stimulation of pyruvate dehydrogenase and inhibition of pyruvate carboxylase. So there is a increased utilization of glucose, to aid generation of ATP, and there is a decreased synthesis of glucose within the cells by the pyruvate carboxylase, by the gluconeogenesis. So the baby is suffering from hypoglycemia. That means glucose that is present within the cells are broken down, and there is no new synthesis of glucose within the cells by the process of new glucogenesis, as there is a inhibition of pyruvate carboxylase. So the baby is suffering from hypoglycemia. Next common defect disease related to the beta oxidation. Next common disease related to the beta oxidation is acute fatty liver of pregnancy. It is again due to the deficiency of long chain L-beta hydroxyacyl CoA dehydrogenase. Next, the HELLP syndrome. It is also due to the deficiency of long chain fatty acid L-beta hydroxyacyl CoA dehydrogenase. Next, if the patient takes the sulfonylureas, that means anti-diabetic drug, that is the sulfonylurea is an anti-diabetic drug, it inhibits the carnitine transporter, so there is a hypoglycemia. Next, the carnitine deficiency itself. It occurs in the premature infant as well as in the chronic hemodialysis patient and patient suffering from recurrent attack of hypoglycemia. Next, the recurrent Reye-like syndrome. It occurs in the children with the genetic defect of carnitine transporter or acyl CoA dehydrogenase or L-beta hydroxyacyl CoA dehydrogenase. Children presented with recurrent attack of hypoglycemia. Then the Jamaican vomiting sickness. Jamaican vomiting sickness. It is caused by eating of unripe fruit of ackee tree, which contains a toxin, that is the hypoglycine, which inactivates the medium and short chain acyl CoA dehydrogenase. So there is a inhibition of beta oxidation and causing hypoglycemia. And simultaneously there is a increased operation of omega oxidation, so there is a production of dicarboxylic acid, and dicarboxylic acid excreted through the urine, so that is called dicarboxylic aciduria. Next, the dicarboxylic aciduria. It is characterized by excretion of omega dicarboxylic acid and by the presented with the non-ketotic hypoglycemia. That will presented with non-ketotic hypoglycemia, and there is a excretion of dicarboxylic aciduria. It is caused by the lack of mitochondria medium chain acyl CoA dehydrogenase. That means there is a impaired beta oxidation and there is increased omega oxidation of long chain and medium chain fatty acid. So as there is a increased omega oxidation, so there is a increased production of dicarboxylic acid, and this is excreted through the urine, so there is a dicarboxylic aciduria. That's all for the today's lecture. Thank you.